Greetings there, my fellow tribespeople. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Tribe Primitive Builder, Episode 3, Growing Tribe. There's also these altars. So over in the bottom left here, there's special altars that you can find in the world. And I mentioned it because I'm literally happening upon one of the, 5 altars? So this altar is the altar to yellow grass. And unlocking it allows me to collect yellow grass from tribal gatherers at an increased rate of 25%. So if I go to the gatherer's hut here, I can change it to collect yellow grass, and if they did, they would collect it more efficiently. But I'm actually going to change the gatherer's hut to go for vines right now. There's also a derelict shack here with incense, big leaves, and vines. And I smash. No, another one. Splendid. This one was a cooking hut because it had a hearth in it. All right. So here they are, waiting to be asked to join. They don't have anything really unique to say at this point, so I'm just going to tell join us, and I am going to immediately put them to work. So we have 4 idle people right now, and I'm going to have all 4 collecting vines so that we have maxed out our gatherer's hut. Then we'll go back to the altar. Now I know where the other altars are, but I'm not going to seek them out. I'll just, if I organically happen upon them, I'll use them. Man, I should just stabbed you. Get back here, bunny. Oh, another bunny. Swing. Now, with 5 gatherers gathering vines, what's going to end up happening is they're going to burn through their knife supply pretty quickly. But that's fine. That's why I made, 7 knives to deliver. And here is the torches that you can see. So the cooking shack can have up to 3 cooks working. The fishery hut has up to 5. The gatherer's hut has up to 5. So if I went over to the gatherer's hut that I have, there'd be 5 torches in the bamboo totem, indicating that it is employing 5 people. I'll just demo that, because it's sort of on the way. So here, all 5 torches being used, and they're... The gatherer's hut, this is also worth mentioning. So the gatherer's hut has its own internal storage here. Automatically, the storage haulers will haul what they are gathering and bring them over to the village storage, or whatever storage that the work facility is bound to. So if the storage that they're bound to gets full, it will start backing up into its own internal storage. Which means, let's say the village storage that we have gets completely full of, tools, like knives and axes that don't stack. The gatherers will start just gathering and putting things into its own internal storage. So the gatherer's hut will start filling up with, vines or stones or whatever we've asked them to collect. That way, production doesn't halt immediately when you max out on something. It's also worth mentioning that when you sleep, time elapses, obviously, but if it's working hours for your tribe, they will continue to work while you're sleeping. So make sure that they're not about to run out of tools, because if they're about to run out of tools and you take a long nap, they're not going to be doing anything while you're sleeping. They'll be idle because they won't have the tools. So here I can see that the fishing still has 5 spears, and the gatherers and cooks still have 6 knives, so they're fine for now. But if they were down to like 1 or 2, I would probably want to make some extra before sleeping. The gatherer's hut stands strong. Good. Remember to assign a gatherer to our storage. We also need additional carriers. We cannot expect them to work with more than 3 huts at once. There's only 3 huts right now, so that's fine. Remember to assign a gatherer to our okay, yeah. What should I do next? As you already know, the workers need an endless supply of tools. Once you begin to hire toolmakers, we will have a complete supply chain. I'm on it. So, complete a tool maker's hut. In order to do that, I am going to need to do the gift of craft. So that's 5 incense and 7 talismans. And then I probably also want to do the woodcutter's hut. So that, because a lot of tools require branches, and I'm not going to be able to complete a supply chain without branches. So that's what? 13 incense and 17 talisman. So the current priority really is to make a bunch of incense and talismans so I can do both wood cutting and tool making. And that's when things get really self-sufficient, for the most part. And because I am in such a brain fog, 13, okay. I'm gonna probably have to continually remind myself how many I need. So I'm gonna have 7. I'll need to make, need to collect more herbs in order to complete the incense required. And then I'll need more. Oh, no, I can only craft so many. I'll put these down here so I know what I'm working towards. Now, this is a case where the shaman's hut might be useful, because the shaman's hut will make incense and talismans from scratch. I just find that it's like not that hard to just craft them myself, which is why that's the route I've chosen. To save myself the effort for making a shaman hut. So I need 1 more talisman, which is 3 more branches, and then some more herbs for the incense. I should probably count how many herbs I need. So I said, what, 13 total? And I currently have 7. So I need 6 more incense, and it's 5 incense per... Where's my spear? Dang it, I threw my spear and, like, didn't... Oh, there it is. Swing. So I need 30 herbs, in other words, doing the math. Alright, I already have enough. I'm just gonna collect the rest of this patch, because I'll need more herbs later on for more rituals. Hunting vision really helps spot animal, doesn't it? And then I also needed branches, and branches you can find on the sort of like dirt paths where it's drier. Or more elevated. didn't count how many. I think, need 3 branches in order to finish. There's a bunch of them over here, so I'll collect a bunch. Now, if you have a bad memory, I do suggest that if you ever find like a high volume collection spot for things that you struggle to find, like branches, just mark it down on your map. Drop a map marker. Be like, zoom all the way in and be like, hey, there's branches. And then, you know, anytime you're looking for branches, open up your map and you'll find them. Once you have woodcutters and gatherers for every type of resource, you will probably not have to do a lot of collection by hand. Alright, so I have all the resources I need for the last talisman and the remaining 6 incense, and we'll get the woodcutter and toolmaker unlocked. The woodcutter is exactly like the gatherer and the fisher, where there's resource proximities. So there are some spots that's going to have a lot of branches, and some spots that are going to have a lot of bamboo, and some spots that will have a lot of wood, and maybe there is a little bit of overlap. But often you'll have to pick. You know, a certain location that doesn't necessarily have all things in equal supply. And I'm just making more than I need to fulfill the quest. That's enough. Okay. So now we have everything for both rituals, and we'll head over to the altar. I'm gonna get rid of the branches marker, though. I don't need it on my map. I do find it useful to put the altar on your map, though, because only in some of the initial quests will it be marked down automatically for you, and then subsequently you'll have to like find it. And because you have to travel there at least, like, I don't know, almost a dozen times, it's useful to just plop it down in your map so that it's easy to find. You can even plop down the entrance to the altar on your map instead, if you find yourself traveling to some strange spot that isn't, you know, because it's underground. Alright, gift of wood done. You have to wait like a minute for the fire to go away before doing another sacrifice. And the gift of tools. Now, if we take a look at this, the next ones that I can unlock is 15 incense, 15 talisman for the wooden totem, which increases the production speed. For 5 incense, 5 talismans to fast travel to the altar, so that if I hit on the map and left click, I travel there automatically. And this is important because there are, obviously, as you can see, other altars on the map. There's the sandland altar, the stone altar, and the volcanic altar, and it takes a very long time to walk there manually. So unlocking fast traveled altars is really, really useful. So now we are going to make the toolmaker's hut to be able to supply knives, spears, axes, etc. And this is one of the things that I suggest probably making a bunch of toolmaker's huts, because each toolmaker can make one type of tool, and the toolmaker uses hammers to make tools. The fisherman uses spears to fish. The gatherers and cooks use knives for cooking and gathering. So it helps to have like 4 different tool makers, one for each type of tool that you're commonly going to use, so that you don't have to constantly switch what your tool maker is currently making. That way it's like really closed loop self-sufficient. The other thing that I got was the woodcutter. And the woodcutter set, I'm probably going to put some over here where there's like lots of wood and lots of bamboo. So when placing the toolmaker down, I just want to make sure that I'm not placing it anywhere that is important for resource gathering. So I'll put it like in an open field where it's not going to require, it's not going to take up a spot. I mean, worst case scenario, if it does, you can use a hammer to destroy it and get back half of its resources, which sounds like a lot now, but when you have woodcutters cutting down bamboo and wood for you, and gatherers gathering yellow grass for you, buildings become a lot cheaper because you're not the one resource gathering for them. And that way, instead of having like 50 wood on hand, you might have 1,000 wood on hand, just because you have a bunch of people cutting down trees, in an automatic fashion. Okay, there is the toolmaker, and they require hammers, so I'll drop my used crude hammer in there. They require stones, so what I'm going to do is the toolmaker is going to use the village storage, but you can see the village storage just went red. That's because there's too many production facilities driven off of it. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. So what I did is I just fired 2 of our gatherers to become, one is going to become a toolmaker, and the other is going to work in the storage, so that there's no work stoppages. The gatherers are going to start gathering bluestone, because I'm going to need bluestone in order to make more tools. And then I'll set this toolmaker up to make knives, because I think that's what we're using most. The gatherers and the cooks use knives, the fisher uses spears, and then the toolmaker themselves use hammers. And I'm going to make a few extra hammers so that they don't run out so soon. Because at some point, I will want to make extra facilities so that each type of tool that I use is manufactured, but I don't have the resources for that just yet. Okay. Have myself a little nap. And return to the Elder. Now, one thing I obviously haven't done yet is to build a woodcutter. I think the next quest instructs me to do it, so I'm not going to jump the gun. However, if you ever jump the gun like that, the game is pretty good about acknowledging it. The game is pretty good about like, hey, you already finished this step, so you don't have to do it. It doesn't get hung up if you build in advance. So it's not necessarily required for him to wait for the prompt to make a woodmaker. I could do it, or a woodcutter rather. I could do it early and not be penalized.
Exile.
I have built the toolmaker's hut. Excellent. You might have noticed that one toolmaker is not enough. Fishermen, cooks, and gatherers all need different tools. So we'll need more carriers. Indeed, our village storage will not be enough, though. You must build a storage hut so you can hire more carriers. Consider it done. So I need to make a storage hut next. And that requires an appropriate ritual. And the storage hut is the gift of storage, which is 10 incense and 10 talismans, but that is unlocked after I get the travel to the Western Altar, so it's really 15 apiece. So that's my next goal. Question for you guys. What should I do next? Build woodcutter or work on the storage ritual? And I'll give you just like 1 minute to vote on this. So, there it is. We can either build the woodcutter so that we can start to automatically gather wood, or grind out the storage ritual stuff. I'm amenable to either. Looks like overwhelmingly you guys say go woodcutter. Alright. I can start working on that. So in order to build a woodcutter's hut, I need a lot more wood. So I'll start collecting that. And then another thing that I'll inevitably end up doing is I'll want to increase the population so that I can have more people working. Because we've already, now that we're supplying tools and we're supplying food very effectively, the more people working, the merrier. Alright, we have all the wood we need. Now for the bamboo. I need 33 total bamboo. I'll also mention that once you unlock the better totems, the wood totem is like the next one, you're only really going to want one bamboo totem, and just to constantly reuse that bamboo totem, because in order to construct a facility, a production facility, it requires an initial bamboo totem, but as soon as you put the bamboo totem in, you can then swap in a better one. So you just like keep swapping in the same bamboo totem to initiate the construction. That will make a little bit more sense soon. All right, so let's get a woodcutter hut. Production. No, that's a gatherer. Woodcutter. And I'm going to put the woodcutter hut where I can gather wood at an efficient rate. So we're at like 90... I think it was best back there. Alright, it's 100% here, but there's like trees in the way. I'm going to see if I can't get 100% where there are no trees. Alright, 99. That will do. 98. And this spot is not bad for bamboo either. It's ideal for wood, a little bit less efficient for bamboo, but it's not that big of an efficiency difference if I need bamboo. Although what I might want to do is get a dedicated bamboo cutter as well, so that I have wood and bamboo automated. A little bit of a spoiler, you're going to need a ton of bamboo and wood for main quest lines. Way more than what a sane person is going to collect themselves. Alright. This is a required tool of axes. And I'm going to rename this woodcutter's hut Woodcutter, because it collects wood. So very creative. I'm going to reduce the gatherers and increase the woodcutters. Set this up to use the village storage. And now they're going to start cutting down trees automatically and supply wood as a supply. What should I do next? Work on the storage ritual, or build a bamboo cutter? Or increase population? So quick poll there while I make some extra axes. Now, what I could do is I could have the toolmaker actually make the axes instead. But they're out of branches. So I would need to... Actually, you know what? I have tons of branches. I'll split my stack of branches and put half the branches into tribe storage and have the toolmaker just make the axes instead of me doing it. I might make one extra axe so they don't run out when I sleep, though. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that I never run out of work for people to do when I'm sleeping. So I've just deposited half my branches into storage so that there's plenty for the toolmaker to make axes. So hammers are down to 4, knives are at 6, spears are at 4. So we're probably not going to run out of that. But we might run out of axes. However, it's nighttime, as you can see in the top right time wheel. So no one's using axes until daytime. In some sense, I'm creating my own tribe IRL. Yes, that's exactly what this game is about. It's literally a tribe builder game. 100%. And I'm working on commerce, in other words. And you guys want me to increase my population, so I will do just that. Going a little off script, but I think it makes sense because we have free space for more woodcutters and more gatherers. Also, the meat I've collected from my own hunting, if I wanted to, I could have the cook, the tribe cook it. It's just a different recipe cooking, you know, meat versus fish. But I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. So if I put the raw meat in, and also the axes I made for spares, and then we go to the cook here, I can change its recipe for the other food rations. So there's 14 fish in storage, but there's the 19 meat I just put in. So I'm going to have them cook up the 19 meat I deposited myself for my own hunting. Obviously, that will run out at some point. And then I'll have to switch back to fish. So you guys want me to increase the pop. So I know I'm going to need a sleeping hut. And that means collecting more bamboo, vines, wood to make a hut. And then I'll ask the scout to point me to a new fireplace. If you're wondering, me chopping down wood or trees or bamboo or whatever near the woodcutter does not affect its ratio. The woodcutter, or really any gathering spot's efficiency, is based upon the natural resources that are prevalent at the tile, not what is currently missing. So cutting down bamboo or trees near the woodcutter doesn't change its ability to produce bamboo, which is good to know. So like if I clear cut all the trees around, I'm not ruining the woodcutter's efficiencies. What are the gatherers currently gathering? Well, let's have them gather vines for me. Oh, no, there's already 64 vines in storage. Have them gather yellow grass? So I just send them after resources that I know I'm going to need at some point. Yellow grass is a pretty common building resource and also required for incense. So in a way, I'm having them gather for the incense required for the storage hut quest that's up there. So I don't have to gather all the yellow grass myself. Now, the gatherer that I have set up doesn't have good proximity to herbs, so I'm going to probably have to collect the herbs myself. It'll be more efficient to do it that way, rather than to have the gatherer do it inefficiently. And the work efficiencies at the woodcutter, it's almost a no penalty to gather wood. Yeah, let's plop another sleep hut here. I'll just plop it right there. And then I am going to go to sleep in it, because my character is quite tired. And also because it's almost daybreak, it means that the woodcutters and gatherers, they're going to be gathering while I'm asleep, allowing me to get some of the resources needed for the next ritual. I sleep all day. And if you're wondering, yeah, like, elapsing time like that is actually pretty useful when you're trying to gather more resources. As long as there's enough tools and food and everything for everyone, you can just keep sleeping, and they'll, like, keep gathering, you know, provided they have what they need to do it. So they've already gathered 25 wood. I'll take half the vines, because the other half of the vines are going to be required to make tools, and they cooked almost all the regular meat and gathered some of the yellow grass that I sent them after. So right now I am going to go ask the scout for people, but after I get the scout, what to work on will be up to you. I know it goes off the screen, but whatever. I'm not going to fix that. Okay. So everybody's supplies are met. Let's go talk to the scout. I think he's at the fire. Yep. Who's that? Alright, so we found people up towards the volcano, I think. I think that's the same spot as last time. It's a bit random where you find people. Sometimes they're on the beach, sometimes they're up at the volcano. Oh, yeah, you can see someone fishing. And you'll actually see people, like, roughly, vaguely working on the things you've assigned them to. You'll see, like, people cutting down trees and people fishing and gathering and, you know. So it's not all simulated. I mean, in terms of, like, how fast those facilities work, that part is simulated. But the actual people will, like, do the physical work that you've assigned them to. So if you assign them to collect herbs, you'll see them, like, hunched over herb fields collecting herbs, which is kind of neat. Speaking of which, I know for the storage ritual that it looks like you guys are going to have me work on next, I'm going to need a lot of herbs, so... Because I happened upon... These kind of look like, what, poppies, maybe? Peonies? I'm not a botanist, I don't really know. Kind of look like poppies, though. What do you guys think? What are these? I'll give you a good close-up view. Is there combat? They're absolutely poppies? Okay. Yeah, that's what kind of what I thought. They look like poppy flowers. So I guess our little island friend here is in the heroin business. Oh, yeah. No wonder these people work for him for free. Oh, no, this is in a different spot. This is not at the volcano. And then the other herbs look like lavender, I think. Hello, and welcome to the Rad's Drug Emporium. Alright, so you guys, I'm going to put on 2 on the woodcutter and 1 on the gatherer. Yeah, opium is booming. What is that? Oh, it's a turkey. Gobble, gobble. Shoot. Oh, my accuracy is really bad. There we go. Got some meat and bones. All right, you guys voted that I work on the storage ritual. Got it. So, it was what, 15 apiece? 15, 10, and 5. Yeah, 15 apiece. JDH Priest, thank you for the sub. So first order of business is to craft as many talismans and incense as I'm able to figure out what I'm missing for more. And to collect the things needed for those things on the way back. So I'm heading sort of vaguely towards home, but I know for talismans I'm going to need branches, so I'm getting branches. And for incense, I'm going to need herbs. So collecting branches and herbs will work towards that goal. Workshop is this way. When you have a lot of buildings built, your compass wheel or whatever does get a little busy, but clustering all your buildings together allows you to find clusters more easily because they're in the same sort of spot. Oh, you found me through YouTube and you've been enjoying the Zed City videos? Awesome. Well, thank you for dropping by and subscribing. Keeps people like me in business. I'll drink to that. Cheers. So I think it was 3 branches per talisman. I have 75 branches, so I should have enough vines and branches for the talismans required. And it looks like I will be shy 5 herbs for the incense. So I'm very close to what I need for the quest. My workshop is surrounded by herbs, so that's going to be pretty easy to source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I got some doubles there. My gathering skill is high enough that I'm starting to find 2 herbs per plant. So I need 14 talismans. And then one of the advantages of doing this storage quest is I will be able to unlock fast travel to the altar. So anytime I want to go to the altar, I can just load fast traveling there. It's pretty nice. The cook hut is out of meat that I offered, so I'm going to switch them back over to fish. There's now a pretty healthy stockpile of fish, raw fish, for them to work on. Glad I remembered that I had changed the recipe. But I just wanted to demonstrate there's like different recipes for everything. Done. That is all I need. Let's head over to the altar. Thank you for tuning in to Tribe Primitive Builder, which originally streamed live on Twitch October 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow tribespeople.